Hello, hello, everyone. This is Lori Jean Opal. Welcome to Live with Lori. This is our first official Zoom session. I really wanted to create a new way to connect. I've been going live for years and years, and I just wanted to seek a new way for us to come together and chat amongst ourselves. I'm actually going to open the chat right now. And also offer you a little Q&A at the end. And so whether you're watching me live here or you're watching me on replay, please feel free to ask me questions and certainly tap into the stream of consciousness. So here's the thing. So like this is my first time streaming on Zoom with you, so it's going to be a new experience for me. So come on in and say hey when you get here. Feel free to say hi on the webinar chat when you get here. That's how it goes down with Zoom. So I'm going to just roll with it because I have to get comfortable with this platform. I have to get comfortable with this platform. So, but I'm excited because I know that there is, a deep need for connection. And, when I'm on social media and, there's a lot of noise on social media, it doesn't sometimes give me the opportunity to really connect with you on the platform. And I hope this helps me do some of that. And it doesn't give you an opportunity to ask questions. So there's a Q&A opportunity for you too. So ask me a question and I will definitely try to answer that at the end and all the things. So hi, I am really kind of stoked. So I'm kind of stoked, but I'm a little nervous actually. So expect to see these Zoom infusions here. I want to, as everything I do in business and in this, this mission that I, have been on for quite some time. I really am intuition led. So, we're gonna leap off with this Zoom session. Thank you so much for being with me. Figuring out actually who's in the house. Here's some of you. Okay, yay. So as you trickle in, as you find me, I know this is brand new. Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. So I am planning on having some more infusions of this goodness on a smaller scale as we go. So look for them. And when you find yourself called to whatever I'm talking about, please jump in. So for those of you that are new to me, I am Lori Opal. I am the founder of Evolution of You, the group. I'm founder of the Manifestation 100. You probably know me through that and many sister programs. And I've been coaching for about 25 years now, and I'm really on a mission to help seekers and spiritual entrepreneurs find their light, find their alignment, create more prosperity in our lives, in our businesses, and really, truly, create joyful lives as you define it. So today I want to talk about the quantum leap, and I've talked about this on other occasions, but as I have my own breakthroughs and thoughts, I love to share them with you. So I want to explore that because the question that I thought about recently was what's your wildest dream? And sometimes our wildest dream feels like it's connected to a quantum leap. Like I can't have my wildest dream, or what's my deepest, most wildest dream? So tell me if you wouldn't mind in the chat. And this helps me get to know what your desires are too. But tell me what your wildest dream would be. And for the purpose of this deeper dive today, I want you to feel into this, and you're going to feel a shift in just turning your attention to this because, as we focus on the dream, as we focus on the goal, as we focus on what's possible, as we drop into the feeling place, you can't help but make shifts in your life. You can't help but make shifts on your life. So I want you to feel into the imagination for a minute. Maybe your wildest dream is that you get to garden every day. I mean, my clients have told me this, but one of my clients said, I want to see myself gardening every day, doing the work that I love. And she even described, those little helicopter seeds that fell down from the trees. What kind of tree is that? But the little helicopter seeds that fall down from the trees. And she said, oftentimes the universe would speak to her through the patterns that she saw while she was gardening. But for her, to like be in her garden every day, not feeling stressed out, feeling really truly aligned, feeling connected was her dream. And maybe for you, it's you get to travel the world. My daughter just went to Spain. And so maybe you have this dream where you want to go to Spain and, visit all of these like cultural, beautiful monuments. And, maybe you want to immerse yourself in that kind of experience, like without worry, without, concern about how am I going to pay for that? And how am I going to, will I ever get the money to go? Or how would I create, the point is, it's like, identify like your deepest dream. What would that look like to you? And maybe it's not anything about the external. Maybe it is, I just want to create this sense of security in my finances. Maybe it's, I just want to be able to step into, this kind of security that doesn't have worry and it doesn't have frustration, and you're not wondering where your next client is going to come from. Maybe it's that kind of alignment that would be like literally your deepest dream, your deepest wanting. So there's power in your imagination, great power in your imagination. And the alignment work is so powerful, as we clear the blocks to making those manifestations come to fruition in our life, or creating, the alignment that allows us to go the distance and actually create the momentum and the inspired action to sometimes, pull up our spiritual bootstraps and go the distance. I know that well, where we pull up our spiritual bootstraps and say, I'm frustrated, but I'm in this. And so I want you to feel into like what your dream would be really truly without some of the blocks that you feel like you're experiencing. So today, conjure that up and tell me what that is. So today I want to focus on the experience of, I just had a quantum leap, or, oh my gosh, I want a quantum leap. And I want to find like such alignment with that, because we want it, but we also have some beliefs about that. And the one thing that I want to share is that sometimes they don't seem possible, and sometimes it feels like they always happen to someone else. And I know that you're thinking, oh, she's going to say that the quantum leap looks like it's happening, but it took years and years of focus. I'm actually not going to say that today, because I hear a lot of people in the industry saying, it looks like overnight success, but actually it was years and years of, of idea generating and trying this and trying. That's not what I'm talking about either today. I really want to talk about the energy of the quantum leap and being a vibrational match to that. I want to talk about the inner shift, so that you can identify like some of the things that's going on for you, especially one thing. So my guidance is I like to connect to, always is giving me like, always, I'm always getting drops. And as I was feeling into this energy, sometimes I like to finish this sentence. Quantum leaps happen when. You've maybe heard me say that before, but if you can finish this sentence, quantum leaps happen when, like what's true for you. And you may have had a time when, manifestations seem to kind of happen quicker. You may have had a time where lots of synchronicity started to just line right up. You might have had that experience. You may have had an experience where, like, out of the blue, nuts, where out of the blue, I suppose I should plug my computer in. Hold on. Of course. So maybe you've had an experience where things have collapsed. You've collapsed time and everything seemed to line up for you perfectly. I got it. Wait. Am I back now? Am I back? Okay. All right. We don't want to run out of battery here. So maybe you've had a time where, synchronicity has, blessed your life, but on top of that, like maybe you've had a time where you felt like, holy smokes, I have quantum leaped and I have collapsed time. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Where I have collapsed time, And so, but we also have this belief that not only do they happen to someone else, they don't seem possible and they don't happen very often. And the truth is that when we start, working on ourselves and creating the required alignment, and when we start living from that place of emotional alignment, emotional, spiritual alignment, where our our beliefs are being rewired, and we're like standing in a different kind of shift. Sometimes you can see quantum leaps joyfully happening more often than you would have ever dreamed possible. So I want you to just feel into that for a moment. I know that you've experienced something that felt like speed, something it felt like a quantum leap. And I want you just to hold that for a minute, because my mission today is to really make like a case for quantum leaps, make a case for why we want to choose quantum growth to have them, and also make a case for becoming your quantum self, which is the highest expression of yourself. So I want to also make a case. So we make a case for the quantum leap, we make a case for the quantum growth, and we make a case for the quantum self. It's like quantum growth plus my quantum self equals my quantum leap. And that really is how it goes. And so, I can dive into the mechanics of manifestation, and I can dive into the mechanics of transforming yourself, but there is an energy too to hold, and like an operating system that you want to step into even first. Like first we want to start there. And so what is the other thing? So here's another issue, and I want to point this out, and I think this is one of the most important things to like really rest our attention on. So when you, in your mind and in your humanity, when you hear the word quantum leap, I know you want it. I know you want to be in your garden. I know you want to be traveling without worry. I know you want to have financial security. I know that you want to be living your purpose. If you're a light worker, I mean, whoa, if you're a spiritual entrepreneur and you know that your prosperity is incomplete. There's an equation, like my growth equals my prosperity when I am an extension of my business, or my business is an extension of myself. I know that you're having an experience of, when I say quantum leap, I want you to get really down and dirty, honest with that, because here's the thing, it sounds super lofty. It's like, yay, I want the quantum leap. Yay, yes, I do. Tell me how to do it. And more than anything today, because there is a way, I teach that way. And I teach the way to that kind of profound alignment, which is quantum growth, which is quantum self. But even to like entertain collapsing timelines, even to entertain manifesting faster, we have to look and say, whoa, what do I even think about that quantum leap? Do I think they don't seem possible? They happen to other people and they don't happen often. And the biggest thing that I want to share with you is that, and this is new. If you haven't heard me say this, it's because it's brand new to the shift. And that is, the quantum leap ignites in us taking leaps. And taking leaps equals what? When I say it's time to take the leap, how do you feel? So we put those two together. I saw this so very clearly recently. The quantum leap, it ignites the feeling of taking the leap, and taking the leap equals risk. And as human beings, all that stuff like runs in stealth mode until I say it out loud to you. You're like, why am I not moving forward? Why am I not having the big quantum leap everybody else is having? Why is this, and it's because we're stuck in our risk, and we are so risk averse. And it's not just that we, struggle being seen on social media, or maybe it's that we struggle starting a business, or maybe it's that we struggle working on ourselves. Because here's the thing, it's so easy to be like, I have a workout routine. I have I count my steps every day. I have a business plan in place, and I'm following this to the T, but I can't make any movement. And it's like, oh my gosh, do I have a me plan? Do I have a quantum self plan? Do I have and so when you look inside, you say, does quantum leap actually equal taking the leap for me? Am I tying those things together? Because I think we are. And I think that we want the quantum leap, but we hook it and tie it in our humanity as taking the leap. And that is like, at all costs, we do not like change, even though we say we want it. It is very difficult. Comfort is the preferred state, as is. And even if it's uncomfortable, even if we're miserable, sometimes we recreate out of the need for familiarity. And so I want to like highlight those things, whether you're not getting the travel or not having the business or not stepping into your divine purpose or your divine light as a light worker, you know what I mean? And I say that loosely because I work with a lot of light workers who aren't necessarily a coach or not necessarily a Reiki practitioner. But, you know, I think it's like you have to look at that and say, am I tying that together? Is quantum leaping? Because I want that so bad. But does that mean take the leap? Would I have to take action to get there? Because if that's the case, I like my comfort zone. I like my certainty. I like what I know. And so to have the quantum leap happen, and what is a quantum leap anyway? It's like when things go faster than you would expect. That's an energetic thing. You know, that's an energy. And the energy stems from how I feel, what I believe, what I'm open to. And so to create the quantum leap, we look at how can I create a quantum self? To create the quantum leap, we want to say, how can I create quantum growth? And sometimes it's like this tiny little willingness to step in. But your ego, even at that time, and I just want to highlight this for you, might even say, that's scary. And there's risk in that because in change, in quantum leaps, it's risky. And the risk can be, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't make the change that I want? What if it works for others and not me? What if I put in all this time on me and I get nowhere? And so, you know, I want you to feel into like, and it, you know, it's an inquiry, you know, it's a let me rest my attention on my stuff, because it's the stealth mode things that we're not paying attention to. And I am like an expert in my own life of like unearthing my stealth stuff, and sometimes not, but you have to be open to unearthing your stealth mode belief systems, your stealth mode vibrations. So this is so clear to me, is if I want a quantum leap, am I so risk averse that I'm shutting down the possibility? Because quantum leap isn't a match to I need to keep myself safe from risk. And that doesn't mean go and take risks that don't make sense, but give yourself permission to make the risks, to take the leap, and to lean into the leaps that are here to expand you, here to like evolve you. And so it might be something as small today as like, what am I willing to do to lean into something that is a vibrational match to opening myself to the quantum leap that I desire. So the true breakthrough, and here's what I want to point out. You like imagine that you're in a business, like the true breakthroughs happen first when you create them in your mind and you hold them in your heart and you start to embody them energetically. So it kind of goes birthed in mind, held in heart, in your bones. That's how that works. And if you want the quantum leap and it's not happening, all of a sudden you're like, do I hate taking leaps? Is that super scary? Am I more comfortable in that divine chrysalis, which is not bad? It's just, where am I keeping myself? Am I ready to be birthed into the butterfly with wings that I am, so I can take the leap, so I can build my wings on the way down? So quantum leaps happen when you unhook and you stop tying quantum leaps to taking risks. And let me tell you this, quantum leap has nothing to do with taking a risk. A quantum leap is a vibrational match to the speed of light and of the quantum field, and you standing in your highest self and you pulling up your spiritual bootstraps and showing up to your life or your work or your healing or your energy. That's the leap. Taking risk is much different. And it's like, I would liken it to the difference of quantum leap happening on the 4D 5-day plane. It's an emotional, spiritual creation where taking a leap and being in risk is much more on this earthly plane. And they feel the same because they both equal change, but they're not. And so do I think that you can have a risk aversion here in your 3D taking risks to a degree? Yeah, but you have to look at it and say, wow, if I want that quantum leap, am I really holding myself apart from it because I've tied risk aversion or staying safe to it? You are safe, to fly, to explore, to expand, to grow, to change. Because here's the thing, it's like literally true breakthroughs happens here first. And that was that was the point I'm trying to make. Happens, you birth the idea, you drop it into your heart, it goes into your bones. The creation happens, mind, body, spirit, and you become the broadcaster of that profound alignment that is connected to your dream, that is connected to your manifestation. And oh my gosh, it's like the breakthrough in your business happens here, and here first. That's where the breakthrough happens. The quantum leap in your business, or the quantum leap in your life, or the quantum leap to find love in your life happens here. And then it's in your heart space and it transforms you energetically. So the breakthrough to the quantum leap and the collapsing of timelines is always in the mind first. So we're busy sometimes wanting the quantum leap, but not making the shift, holding ourselves apart from taking the leap because, oh my God, that's too risky. Growth is difficult. I can't tell you how many people I have chatted with that have said, I started off on that personal growth journey, but it just got too hard for me because I'm so used to my comfort zone. Or I had to like put a stop to that growth because I wasn't in alignment with it yet, because it was too scary. And the good news is well, most of you who are here with me on this live today are, looking at this for a reason. And so I want you to look and say, am I willing to surrender? Am I willing to like do what needs, be what needs being is actually, I was going to say do what needs doing. That's not accurate. It's, am I willing to be who I need to be so I can create the quantum growth that I seek, and life, business, abundance, love, whatever it is for you? Because change happens inside before it happens outside, as within, so without. There's been a zillion metaphors, right? From the motivational industry all the way through a higher spiritual perspective that is like, we are one with this divine universe. And as I shift, life shifts. I say this all the time. I've been saying this for years. And this is why when you shift, life shifts. And that's because, we're conscious creators standing on this, like, we live in a magnetic universe. So I want you to like look at like yourself and say, am I willing to do the work to be lined up with my quantum self? Am I willing to create quantum growth? What would that look and feel like? And so that I can experience quantum leap. Can you feel that? There's a willingness in it. There's a surrender in it. There's a decision in it. These are all states of being. If I didn't come to my work, I would not have, well, let me rephrase that. If I didn't come to my work with willingness and surrender and sometimes hardship, but if I didn't come with willingness, surrender, and decision, it's like I put myself in limbo. And trust me, I go there sometimes. I'm just as human as you are. Sometimes I find myself, whoa, I have been in this stuck place for a little while. And it's because, I can't unhook from the inner conflict between I'm afraid to move forward and I want to move forward so bad, but there's this inner conflict of me recreating security and safety and comfort. I'm sure that you've been there. Let me know if that's true. I don't know. Does our chat work? I'm not so sure. I would like to know. Someone type me something and let me know if this chat works. Maybe you're all just a little quiet.
You may have it disabled.
I might have it disabled. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have to figure that out for next time. I see a Q in A. This is new for me, everyone. Oh, it says chat. Oh, Patty is saying chat says disabled. Well, if you all want to go in the Q and the question and answer thread, Okay, we're learning as we go. This is our first time. If you want to go on the Q&A, because that's not disabled, feel free. There we are. I'm sorry, you guys. Well, next time. Okay. So feel free to go where it says Q&A. Feel free to type anything in. If you want to chat, you can chat. If you have a question, you can ask the question. So I'll get that fixed. Okay. So here's the thing. I want you to look at, I think I was saying, surrender, willingness, and decision. It really is about what is, can I step into my quantum self? And the question that I have for you, and that I want you to really, another thing that I want you to take away today is this piece about who, like, it's a simple question, like, who am I willing to become? And how am I willing to show up to her or him today? Like, whoa. And some days will beat you down, and some days it will be easier. And some days you will say, I'm going to lean into this because I know that energetically, the minute you start leaning into even willingness and surrender, you start softening the vibration and softening your resistance to the quantum leap itself. So here's the thing, we want the quantum leap, but the answer is in the development of the quantum self. I've been preaching that for a long time, but it is in the development of the quantum self. It is in the choice of quantum growth, which, by the way, you may say, I'm going to make this mindset shift. And that's just a little thing. It's not quantum growth. And I'm going to ask you this obvious to me question, but isn't always obvious to me from my stuck places. How do you know that the one shift that you made isn't a quantum growth shift? Because it's kind of like the whole pebble in the dam thing. You remove one pebble, you make one shift, and sometimes it's floodgates. And that's what I've always loved about this work is, we have the opportunity to really make one shift. I have you make tons of shifts in this work. Like we are like, it is the evolution of you. It is about the evolution of self. It is the quantum self, the quantum growth. But what delights me so much is we have all kinds of noise about all this hard work that we need to do. And sometimes it literally is one shift. Sometimes it's one trigger. Sometimes it's one aha moment. And all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh. And there is a floodgate, and there is what feels like a quantum leap. So the quantum leap sometimes happens in the quantum self, the who I am becoming. And sometimes it's one pebble, and how cool is that? So I don't want to make a case for quantum leap being difficult. It's simple questions. Have I tied, having a quantum leap of, well, I just want to make sure that they don't seem possible. That's happened to everyone else. Potentially they're hard or they're rare. And the big one is, have I tied it to risk? Have I tied taking the leap to scary, which equals risk? And then all of a sudden it cancels out my quantum leap, because that sounds freaking scary too. So it's an energetic state of being that you ignite, I promise you, through your choice of quantum growth, through your choice of quantum self, by you asking the simple question, who do I want to be today and who do I want to become? Can I become the person that I need to be, the aligned person that I need to be, the aligned, radiant, free person that I need to be to create more quantum leaps on a consistent basis? Can you have a little quantum leap every day? Yes, of course you can. Can you have big quantum leaps every day? Yes, of course you can. Who makes this up? You do, right? As we go along. But we don't make it from a state of fear. And unless we go access the consciousness, we can't activate the energy. How do I know? Because I'm me. Some teachers would say, how do you know? Because I've worked with thousands of clients. And that's true. But the truth is because I'm me and I watch myself in it. I am like an acute observer of self that chooses always to lean back into who she's becoming, her quantum growth. I can stay stuck though, just like you can for a while. Those gaps shorten up. After a while, you're doing the work of the quantum self and stepping into your highest self and really activating that and dancing with the universe, and and the synchronicity is blessing you. And energies are high. And so that gap shortens up where you could stay in your stuckness for years, and all of a sudden it's backed up to months, and it's backed up to weeks, and it's backed up to days, and sometimes it's backed up to moments where you have some bad moments in your day that you feel like, whoa, I'm really struggling. But on the flip side of that, I have this amazing toolbox to step back into my power and really like align myself with the magic that the universe is just dying to deliver me. But we have to like be in partnership, like to choose and to have desire for a quantum leap and not step into the energies of that quantum leap and not work on the fears and the noise around having those things. Oof, like I can understand that we would not create those. So quantum leap is a vibrational match to the quantum field, which is the highest vibing energies. And it feels like bliss and love and opportunity and openness and potential. And so and self-love and self-worthiness and self-appreciation and opening to possibilities beyond. And so that kind of magic happens in that zone, but not only in that zone. Sometimes you can be making one shift and all of a sudden you have this magic happen in your life and you're like, oh my God, I'm not even totally healed. And so you might ask me, do I need to be, let me know if you have this question. Let me know if you have this question, but it might feel to you like, I need to be totally healed to have my quantum leaps. Sometimes I work with people who say, do I need to be totally healed in this relationship with myself to attract a soulmate? The answer is no. So I look at my own life. I am, in all transparency, not totally healed, nor should I be. But I remove pebbles of things, and I am living and married to my soulmate. And we've had magnificent manifestations. And so, and I will promise you, like, for as awake as I feel some days, I am completely on the 3D some days and popping back and forth between my 3D experience, which is my humanity, and my 4 and 5D experience, which is my power and which is the universe, and me creating through my mind, my heart, and my embodiment, and shifting energy so fast that not any amount of human action hours can equal the amount of shift that we've made on the quantum field at that time. And so we get pulled down into our struggle, and we get pulled down into our comfort zones, and we get pulled down into our familiarity, because it's safe. It's what we know. That's how it goes. And so it's our job to take a look and say, I want to manifest. I want to be standing in my most powerful shoes as the creator of my reality. How do I get there? I want that quantum leap. I want that most desired dream. How do I get there? And it always starts with you. You always have to look at, am I aligned with my quantum self? Who do I want to be? Am I willing? Can I surrender to the energy? And can I make a decision today that would bring me closer to that? Because we spend a lot of time going back to the self that is tied to our fear or tied to our scarcity. And so this is just an opportunity, for you to take a look on another level, take a look on another level, like, where am I activating that fear of the risk? Because if you tie, and I just want you to really hear this, if you're tying taking the leap, if you tie building your wings on the way down, and that feels scary to you, and that feels tied to quantum leaps, then there's some unraveling to happen. And so we look at, like, where are the things that are showing themselves to be cleared? It's one of my mantras with my clients. It's like, the darkness shows itself to be cleared. And so what is the darkness? The darkness is what's asking to be transmuted. The darkness is my scarcity consciousness. The darkness is my limitations, right? The darkness is sometimes my triggers and my trauma. Sometimes it's generational trauma, but it shows itself to be cleared. And you'll be like, what is that? And you have to be in this place of, thank you. I'm in the observation of self because I want to live in my quantum self. And I need to observe my human self and all of the things that she's doing. And I'm going to make adjustments, and I'm going to get powerfully aligned. I'm going to activate the energy that needs activating. And and do and be what needs being so that I can create more of that joyride in my life. Quantum leaps happen when what? Identify that for you. I can tell you for sure when we start putting our attention on our dream, we start to move the field. I can tell you for sure when we start loving ourselves in a different kind of way, we start opening up possibility and we start standing in our power. And I can say for sure that when we start letting go, and this is another piece too, of everything we think we know, all of our limits, all of our scarcity, and entertaining with curiosity, like what can actually happen. I have to remind myself daily, I don't know what tomorrow is bringing, because if I think I know what tomorrow is bringing, I create what I think tomorrow is bringing. So we literally have to let go of everything we think we know about the future, about how it's going to happen, about when it's going to happen, about what is possible for us, and start to entertain something different. We are so ourselves. We are so defined by who we think we are. And when you stop defining yourself by who you think you are and say, whoa, what would my quantum self feel like, be like? What would she think? Whoa, when I start doing that work, then I start, opening up massive gateways of possibility. Then I start opening up the quantum leap. Quantum leap is a vibrational match to quantum growth and quantum self, period. And when you're doing the work on those things and you're allowing yourself to feel that frequency of quantum leap and open up the energies, even if it's a pebble that you say, I have a belief system that needs tweaking. I'm going to be like operating a little differently here. I'm going to create a framework or step into like a framework that allows myself to really like dig in and grow me. And I suggest you start quite simply, with self-love and decision and willingness and surrender, right? That's the place to begin. But it's like match for match. Where am I pointed? Am I pointed towards my safety more often than not and my comfort? Or am I pointed more towards possibility and limitlessness? I'm always saying, I want to remind you where you are and who you are. And that's standing on the quantum field. And I want to remind you of the powerful being that is like right there within you, that's asking to be nurtured and birthed and tended to, because once she's on board or once he's on board, oh my gosh, guess what happens? Your outer circumstance changes every single time. Every single time it does. Every time you shift, life does. It is almost crazy. And if you ever wanted to test that theory, right? When you introduce new stimuli, so imagine right now in your mind where things are birthed, imagine that you bite on a lemon right now. Can you change the environment of your mouth and of your throat and of your glands? And that's not even biting into a lemon. So when we start to do quantum work, we have to like believe that that's happening. And if you've ever said, I'm going to, with intention, be in even gratitude, right? We like take these little gateways of inroads, like even just gratitude. Have you ever noticed that more comes to be grateful for? Have you ever noticed that your energy is softer? Have you ever noticed that things shift? Because life shifts when you do, business shifts when you do. So I want to invite you to play with the energy. Like, can I create proof in my world that as I think, as I feel, as I get the energy in my bones, as I walk this embodiment path, can I find proof that my life shifts? Because what would open up if I went all the way in with 100% commitment? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want this scarcity consciousness. I don't want this fear. I don't want this comfort in my, the safety in my comfort zone to run every single one of my decisions. So is it scary sometimes? Yes. But the question is, can we have awareness about this and can we choose not to let that run us? So there's gold in the vibrational shift. So turn your attention back today for a minute. I want to turn your attention back to the thing that you desire. Like, what do you dream about the most? What would be, if I could say you could have anything that you desire, picture your happiest moment, picture your most divine dream coming to fruition. I want you to paint that picture in your mind. And I know it's more than a lemon, but I want you to picture that in your mind. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. And I want you to like imagine that being possible. And I want you to feel what it might feel like if the universe delivered that to you much quicker than you expected. How would it feel? You'd be like this. Oh my gosh. You would have some awe. You would be taken. So the power of just that today starts making you a vibrational match to the quantum leap to that. I do need you to step into your quantum self, into your highest self, because the self that is run by the ego and the fear and the scarcity consciousness isn't a vibrational match to the manifesting, to the quantum leap, to the business, to the growth, to the money, to the freedom, to the security. And it is something that I'm going to invite you to tend to. How long? Really, truly, for the rest of existence, because we're creators, because we're supposed to grow through our contrast, because we're supposed to know our power, because we're supposed to tap into and know the divine worthiness that exists within inside of us and not be separated from that. More often than not, we have the ability and we can connect to our most powerful selves, and we don't have to make it hard. We have to make it easy. You know, stand in our surrender, stand in our willingness, and stand making decisions that would bring us to that point, you know? So I hope this was helpful. I wish that I could ask you if this was helpful, but the Q&A is open, and I'm sorry, you guys, about the chat, but let me know. You can tag me in the Facebook group. You can let me know if it's helpful. Next time I'll have it on, but let me know if it was helpful, and let me know your takeaways, and let me know how you might implement this. So, and I'm going to open this up for a little Q&A if you would like. If you have any questions right now, let me know. I do see the chat's working. So if you have a question for me, let me know it, and I'll answer it for you. So in the meantime, I really want to invite you also to dive into deeper work with me if it feels aligned for you. I have a breakthrough session set up always for you to jump into. And if you want to go schedule a time to explore working together further, explore some of the deeper programming, which is juicy and deep, and it really helps you like on that growth path. And certainly, as you know, if you've been hanging around me for a while, on the development of like, you know, your higher becoming and your quantum self-work. If that feels aligned and you really resonate with, I got to shift myself, so I shift my experience. And if you want to have that breakthrough where you're making the mindset shift, the energetic shift, I really want to talk to you and see where you're at and how I can help. And you go to, it's LoriJeanOpal.com/call. And we'll just jump on a call. I want to hear what's in your way. I want to hear about what you feel like you need breaking through. And I'll even help you identify some things that you can't see on your own. So you can make a decision to like move forward, however that might be. So those things run in stealth mode, and I love to be your mirror. It's an honor for me really to get with you and talk about how we can shift your life really profoundly. So no questions today. All right. If you have questions, feel free to ask them on Evolution of You group, Facebook group. I'd be happy to chime in as it relates to anything that we talked about on this. That would be wonderful. So, all right, besides our chat not being enabled, I think we did okay with the software. I think we did okay with things. I'm glad to see you guys here, and I appreciate very much those of you that were able to make it live with me. And if you're watching me on replay, let me know. And I want to say to type #replay, but I'm guessing there won't be a place to do that. But if you're watching me on replay, send me vibes that says, Lori, I'm here. Somehow, maybe we'll figure that technology out. All right. I'm getting a frog in my throat right at the end. Okay. I love you all beyond measure. I'm very happy with this. It does feel connected, and it does feel, with those of you that are here, it feels connected and it feels good. And I hope it made a difference for you in how you're going to do life and all the things today. So mission accomplished. I like it. So we'll see more of these in the future, and I will see you guys next time. All right. Okay. Bye for now.